Hi there guys, welcome back to another video, and in this week's video we're going to be discussing a few of my favourite hacks to saving money, and hopefully this will help you save money going into 2021. Again, these are just a few of the many tips that you can really use to help save some income. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So moving into 2021, I think personally there's going to be a lot of opportunity, whether this is in property or the stock market, and we really need to be able to capitalise off these opportunities. And the main way you can do this is to invest, but a lot of people just want to invest, but they don't actually have the money to begin with. One of the most important things you need to be able to do is actually save money. A lot of gurus will often slate people for saving, but again, it's so important. Now, I know the bank is only giving you 0.2% interest, but the ability to save is absolutely crucial because you're essentially saving to invest. If you're just saving for the sake of it, then you're not going to really benefit as much. Although I do think you should keep some savings regardless, just in case if something really serious happens and you fail to maybe liquidate your investments. So yeah, the ability to save is so crucial because you're essentially not just saving for the sake of it, but you're saving to invest later down the line. Now guys, before we jump into the first hack, if you wouldn't mind just leaving a like, and hopefully if you enjoy, if you could subscribe as well and comment down some of your thoughts. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Now hack number one is checking your finances. Now I know this may seem really small, although it's very important, and I can guarantee you will discover some stuff. So essentially all you have to do is just check your bank statements, date and pass from the past month or so, just going down there and really understanding, do you need this, do you not need it, can you actually survive without it, or can you really just give it up? Now, one of the biggest ones and what a lot of people struggle on is subscriptions. So whether this is for Netflix, whether this is for another streaming platform, anything, subscriptions can really eat into your monthly expenses, because essentially it's just those ongoing bills that are automatically done without you really knowing. Now again, there's two variants to this. So essentially you could sign up to a free trial and forget to cancel it. Then you could just be billed like £10 a month and you're not even aware if you're not checking your finances. Or you could be signed up to something, but you're only like, oh, it's only £5 a month, or it's only £10 a month. Now I know over the course of the year, that's only £120, but believe me, you can do a lot more with that if you are actually looking to invest. And if you're not using the platform that you're paying for, then what's the point in even having it? So yeah, again, it's really small, but it can be very beneficial, as essentially you're just freeing up some extra income for you. On top of that, you just have to realize, is the subscription or service you're paying for worth it? If you're paying £10 a month for something that you're only using 3 times a month, you have to sit back and realize, is this actually worth it, or can I do it elsewhere? Is there another possible method in which I can get around not paying the £10 but still getting the work done? Because if you're only using it for, I don't know, 3 times a month, then you're not really going to get your value worth, if that makes sense. So yeah, with that hack, essentially it's very straightforward. You're just looking over your bank statements and realizing, do you need to be paying for this? Again, do you even realize that this is going out? Because a lot of people, and I can guarantee you, if your expenses are high, there will be something on there that you can definitely take off, which over the long term will save you a lot of money, which will allow you to invest even more. Now, hack number 2 is the 30-day bypass rule. And essentially what this is if you're looking to buy something, this usually only works for big purchases. You can't really do it with the essentials, but if you're looking to potentially purchase a new car or some clothes or something, if you wait that 30 days, then you're going to bypass the excitement phase. Now, what essentially this is you first see a product and you're obsessed with it. You really want it now, but by waiting those 30 days, you essentially bypass that excitement phase, and then you come to a realization, do you actually need the product or not? Now, when those 30 days pass and you still want it, then buy it, because obviously you really want it. But a lot of the time, almost like 80% of the time, you'll realize after those 30 days that you didn't really need it. You can always live without it. So the point of buying it is slim to none. So again, this hack kind of depends on what you want. If it's a really big purchase like a car, then I think doing the 30 days is the best way forward. If it's something fairly small, like some clothes you want in, maybe narrow down the 30 days into 2 weeks, because I think 30 days might be too long to wait. But essentially what this hack does is it just makes you wait and hopefully gets you past that excitement phase in order to understand if you actually really need it or not. Now with this hack, I think it's by far one of the most difficult, because essentially when you see something you like, you just want to buy it. Impulsive buying, it happens all the time, and I think waiting those 2 weeks to 30 days is really helpful. However, I do definitely think it's the hardest, because when you really want something, it's really hard to wait those 30 days. However, this is why it's preferred for big purchases such as cars and watches and whatnot, just to understand if you really need it, because a lot of the time you'll buy something like a car and then a month will go past and it doesn't really entertain you as much. So you just really have to understand what you're buying. Do you really need it? Can you cut back on expenses and invest that money elsewhere? So you just have to look at it from that point of view. Now the third hack would be the hourly pay trick. Now this is one that I use all the time and it's so beneficial. In fact, it can be really annoying sometimes, but it's probably one of the most important things that you can use, as it's so effective. So again, this tip is super simple. The first step to it is understanding your hourly pay. So whether you get paid hourly or not, or whether you get a salary, try and work out how much you get paid an hour or how much you're worth an hour. And then essentially, before you actually go and buy something, realize how long it would take you to work in order to buy that product. So essentially you're exchanging your service, your time, for a product that you might not even want. But by doing it this way, it's almost like a psychological trick to understand if you really need it or not. Now an example of this would be, say you're getting paid £10 an hour and you want to buy a pair of shoes for, let's say, £100. Now it's quite an expensive pair of shoes, but then take into consideration, by doing the hourly pay trick, understanding that to get those pairs of shoes, it's going to take you 10 hours of pure graft to actually obtain those shoes. So again, this is similar to the last trick, the 30-day rule one. If you see it and you really like it and you've done the 30-day rule, you've done the hourly pay trick, then just buy it, because obviously you really want it. But essentially what this tip does is it takes into consideration the value of your time and the price of the product. So if you do work hard and you do work 10 hours to just get a pair of shoes, maybe you just want to take a step back to understand, is this really valuable for my money? Because obviously you've worked really hard for that. So do you want to exchange that hard work in order for a pair of really expensive shoes? Now the thing with these hacks is they're not meant to make you stop buying things altogether. They're just meant to make you think before you actually purchase stuff. So essentially, if you do the 30-day trick and after those 30 days you still want it, then buy it. If you do the hourly trick pay and you still want it, then buy it. Because again, these aren't tips to stop you from buying things. These are just tips to help you cut back on your expenses. And essentially, they're kind of just psychological tricks in the fact that it makes you think before you buy, because I think a lot of us, especially around this time of year, will just make those impulsive decisions to just buy, when really if you just take a step back, you realize that you don't actually need most of the stuff you're buying. Now again, finally then to conclude, obviously you've got the first one, which is essentially just checking your finances, seeing if there's anything you can truly cut back on. The biggest one to those is subscriptions. That's a really painful one. It can always catch people out. And the second one is the 30-day rule. So before you buy something, wait 30 days before you buy it, and after those 30 days, if you don't want it, then don't buy it. If you do want it, then obviously still buy it. But essentially what this trick is to just get you past that excitement phase and get all the exciting stuff out of the way, because after you buy something, most of the time after about a month or two, the excitement kind of dabbles down. So with waiting those 30 days, it really helps understanding for yourself if you actually want the product or not. And now the third one would be the hourly pay trick. Now this is one of my personal favorite, because it just makes you think before you purchase something. Now for example, with the example I just said a couple of minutes ago with the £100 shoes, and if you get paid £10 an hour, knowing that to buy those pairs of shoes, it's going to take you 10 hours of pure hard work to actually get them. So again, it's just taking things into realization to understand the fact if you actually need them or not, and it really helps before you buy, because again, none of these tips are supposed to stop you from buying altogether, because buying things can be nice, but it's understanding where you can cut back and essentially save money. Because before I implemented these tricks, especially the hourly pay one, a lot of my expenses were just going through the roof. But when you actually think about it before you buy it, you truly realize that you might not even need the product. So yeah, by implementing just one of these tricks in 2021, you have the ability to save hundreds and if not thousands. So again, this can be really helpful when it does come to helping you save money, because obviously you want to be saving to invest and then build up your portfolio and your net worth. So again, the main thing is to just think before you buy, truly understand if you need it, and if you don't, then don't buy it. But of course, if you do still want it, then buy it. These 3 tips are very simple, and it just helps you cut back on all your expenses. And that's everything for this video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed. Again, these are just 3 of the many tips out there in which you can save money. Of course, like the video if you enjoyed, hopefully subscribe as well. And if you have any other saving tips as well, be sure to comment them in the comments section below. And until next time, we'll see you soon.